Dodgeball, or True Underdog Story, is a 2004 American sports comedy film written and directed by Rawson Marshall Thurber and starring Vince Vaughn and Ben Stiller. The plot follows a group of misfits entering a Las Vegas dodgeball tournament to save their cherished local gym from the onslaught of the corporate health fitness chain. The film was released by 20th Century Fox on June 18, 2004. It received generally positive reviews from critics and grossed $168.4 million on a $20 million budget. An interesting fact about this film was that when it was screened to test audiences, the original ending had Average Joe's lose to Globo Gym in the final match. After the ending was viewed negatively by test audiences, the sudden death match and Average Joe's winning the dodgeball tournament were added alongside, with White going back to obesity. This of course led to the famous end credit scene where White, now who is overweight, is eating fast food and holding his man boobs as he sings to the song Milkshake by Khalees. In 2005, two New York screenwriters, David Price and Ascosia Thomas, filed suit in federal court against Fox and Thurber, claiming copyright infringement of an unproduced screenplay they had written called Dodgeball, the movie, by Thurber and Fox. They alleged there was a number of similarities in the plots of the two screenplays, and that Thurber may have had access to their screenplay, which was finished a month before his, and submitted to an agent whose assistant he was acquainted with. Lawyers from the defendants dismissed some of the allegations as coincidental. They said that both screenplays were the work of writers who'd used common formalic elements. Judge Shira Shendlin denied the defense motion for summary judgment and ordered a jury trial. The suit would later be settled out of court. Now, I have always loved this film, and it's one of those films that never disappoints and always makes me laugh. A typical 2000s comedy with the Frat Pack at their peak. The Frat Pack is a nickname given to a group of comedy actors who have appeared together in many of the highest-grossing comedy films since the mid-90s. The group is usually considered to include Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Luke Wilson, Will Ferrell, Steve Carell, Jack Black, Paul Rudd, and Vince Vaughn. This is a funny, easy film about a bunch of losers who need to save their safe place, in this case a gym, from corporate greed of one man. It's your usual underdog story, but in this film it plays out with the simple introduction of a sport called dodgeball. An unoriginal concept, yet so original in the way it's played out. Ben Stiller is fantastic as White Goodman, the arrogant, vicious leader of the Globo Gym. But deep down he's incredibly insecure in himself, as of course once he was completely overweight. He overcompensates, and I just love his arguments, where it absolutely goes nowhere, even though he thinks he's outsmarting the other person. Stiller just plays the baddie so well, and it's one of his best roles that I've seen him in. Vince Vaughn plays his usual self, calm, relaxed, and this one goes down perfectly though as Peter LaFleur, who is an everyday man, just getting on with his day. He's a chilled, relaxed guy, not fussed by the stresses of life. And Vince Vaughn encapsulates this perfectly. Stiller's real-life wife, Christine Taylor, plays the bisexual Kate Vetch so well, and she is of course the object of attention initially for White and then Peter too, but of course later we find out that she likes neither of them. Rip Torn is brilliant as Patches O'Houlihan, the mad coach who takes Average Joe's under his wing. Of course he is a legendary dodgeball player and has to bring up this team to the right standard. His training methods are unorthodox to say the least, and that's some of the most hilarious parts in the whole film. I loved the rest of the cast too, and they were all cast perfectly. Justin Long as Justin Redman, the nerdy teenager dying to impress the girl, is perfect. Stephen Root as Gordon Pip, a sorrowful man married to a mail-order bride, is excellent. I thoroughly enjoyed Chris Williams as Dwight. Then of course there's the wonderful Alan Tudyk as pirate Steve Cowan, a man who literally believes he's a modern-day pirate. I also thoroughly enjoyed the love angle between Joel David Moore as Owen Dwitman and the completely unrecognizable Missy Powell as Fran I can't even begin to say her name, it is so long. But they, of course, are absolutely wonderful. She is an Eastern European super dodgeball player, one of the best in the world, and their romance is completely off the wall. The only part of the film that hasn't dated quite well is, of course, the cameo appearance of Lance Armstrong. He bumps into Peter LaFleur at the airport after Peter has left the team and inspires Peter to rejoin the team and give it one last go, using himself, of course, as an inspiration. This, of course, though, would fall flat in today after it was found Lance Armstrong had used performance-enhancing drugs to help him win his 7 Tour de France's. But hey, how were the filmmakers to know this back then? It, though, does play out as somewhat of an awkward scene. Dodgeball is completely over the top, but it's just good old-fashioned fun, and it will always make you laugh. And if you want a feel-good movie, this is one to watch. Dodgeball gets an 8 out of 10.